In my PhD project, I'm focusing on the interaction between psychosocial stress and training adaptations. While many athletes and professionals I've spoken to believe that stress definitely negatively affects both training quality and the outcome, there's actually a lack of strong scientific evidence on this topic. But I think this topic deserves a critical analysis, as it may change our practical approach towards health and performance-related training interventions. So, in our first exploration, we wanted to look at the acute effects of stress on the hormonal response to resistance exercise. We decided to first conduct a pilot study to refine our research protocol and also assess the feasibility of the ideas. Therefore, we recruited 8 healthy male participants for this pilot. Initially, the participants underwent a familiarization session on an isokinetic leg press, which was used as the mode of resistance exercise. Following this familiarization session, participants underwent their first experimental day, which occurred 3 to 7 days later. We randomly allocated the 8 individuals into 2 groups. Group A engaged in an active resistance exercise scenario, while Group B performed the same leg press movement 4 times 10 repetitions on the same device, but without exerting any force. Right before performing the leg press, or the unresisted leg press, therefore, participants underwent the Maastricht Acute Stress Test, or short, MAST. This was done to induce a physiological stress response. On the alternative day, they underwent a validated sham version of the MAST. These 2 experiments were separated by a 14 days washout period, and throughout each experimental day we conducted blood samples at 4 time points. At baseline, right after the stress test, directly after the resistance exercise, and 30 minutes later. In addition, we obtained subjective experience feedback using a visual analog scale, continuously measured heart rate and also heart rate variability, and we measured their counter-movement jump performance on a force plate to evaluate the level of fatigue right before taking the blood samples. Coming to the results. Due to the small sample size, our analysis focuses on descriptive statistics and standardized mean differences. At baseline, we didn't observe any meaningful differences between the days and all the groups. In terms of cortisol, testosterone, myoglobin and interleukin-6, which were our primary outcomes. Following the MAST test, serum cortisol levels increased, while they decreased in the sham version. When participants performed the leg press after the MAST, this difference of cortisol between the stressed and the unstressed condition disappeared. Total testosterone levels increased immediately after the leg press, but no changes were seen after the unresisted leg press. Notably, the increase of testosterone was higher in the MAST condition than in the sham MAST version. It's important to note that this comparison was based on only 4 participants in this crossover design of 1 group. But the standardized mean differences was calculated as 3.6. We did not observe any systematic changes in interleukin-6. Myoglobin levels, as expected, were raised 30 minutes after the leg press, but there was no difference between stress or the unstressed condition. Coming to interpretations and outlook. Our initial findings suggest that the Maastricht Acute Stress Test successfully induced stress in our sample. It appeared that the exercise protocol somehow superseded the preceded stress. Particularly noteworthy was the higher increase in testosterone associated with the leg press protocol following the MUST, indicating that participants were activated or primed for the subsequent physical effort in the acute stress setting. Based on our promising data from the pilot study with the 8 participants, we are excited to fine-tune our protocol. We want to increase the sample size and also want to include female participants. And we want to gain a better understanding of the interaction between stress and the training adaptations in our upcoming experiments.